Okay, moving on then to item 4, resolution to request that Blackwater study and prepare periodic reports of the recovery of the critical habitat around the ground preferral ranch as part of a mitigation required by the county if the county grants their use permit. And we do have a resolution here, which I have prepared, which I'll read. It says, whereas the Harris fire recently burned the area around the proposed Blackwater training facility site specified in PO 6-069. 2. Blackwater is currently involved in environmental studies for their MUP and therefore has a good pre-fire baseline of reference. 3. It is in the public interest to have the recovery progress documented for future reference. Now therefore the Trail Planning Group resolves and requests that Blackwater track the critical habitat recovery in the Harris fire burn area and report same to the Trail Planning Group and interested government agencies. 2. Our request be filed with Blackwater, DPLU, and Supervisor Jacobs' office. Do we have any?
I don't have a copy of that.
Look again. I thought I put one at each location. Okay, but they were laying around here.
They're right there again, on that table.
Oh, maybe they got picked up. There we go.
There's Jerry and Bill.
I don't see any problem.
Do you have anything you want to add? Any comments? You want to deal with this tonight, or you want to trail it so we have time for more study?
Can we trail it?
I mean, I think it's a wonderful proposition to ask them to do it.
I would move that we accept it. I think it's very good, and I think it's something that we need the information for. I'll make a motion that we accept, that we make this resolution and just get on with it, and not dilly-dally.
I would prefer to trail it. I mean, I didn't even know we were doing a resolution until this came out. And so what are you asking for specifically on this?
Well,
What does it say?
it's right there in black and white.
To track the critical habitat recovery in the burn area.
Study.
Okay.
That's all, you know. See who peeks out of the bushes, or the
See,
non-bushes.
this is part of the problem of this Brown Act not being able to get the word out ahead of time. And this is now growth of some emails back and forth with Miriam Rafferty of the East County Times. Yeah. And hey, Jack?
I have a question here. A portion of that valley that burned was set ablaze by CDF to counter the current fire that would come up in Coleman Canyon and Powder Canyon. Is that not true?
That is true. It's, most of the
Then why is...
area was backfire.
Okay, so then why are they being tasked with doing this? Wouldn't it be better that the county do this? And then they combine their efforts? I mean, they didn't start the fire.
But,
So why should they be tasked with doing this study?
I've tried to cover that in here. Number one, they have a good baseline, a pre-fire baseline from their current environmental studies.
I understand that, but
And,
the county would have a totally different view of what's going on, and then you compare the two as in product.
Are you saying we should ask the county fire departments to do the same?
Well, they start the damn fire.
They were trying to help.
I have to, you know, emphasize that all we can do with this resolution is ask. We have no authority to require. We can only ask. And you know, Blackwater may take the attitude if the county requires it, we'll do it. Or they might say, sure, we'll do it, without whether the county says for them to do it or not. But You know, this is just getting the idea out there to be considered by Blackwater and the county. And that's all it is.
Jan,
Do you know that?
We have a hand.
Yeah, when you guys approved or preliminarily approved the permit or the, whatever it was, that Form 5234, it had a lot of contingencies on it. What's happening with those contingencies? Is this going to be like a contingency number 10, or is there any progress on the contingencies that you had asked for? I'm just trying to put it in a framework, in context.
It's in the letter that I received today, where they are looking to have an open house on the ranch.
Yes, but you were asking questions about, you know, like a noise test, and there were like 8 other contingencies.
Yeah.
But the fire came up.
Right, well, I'm trying to put this in context. Is this, you know, now does this become number 1? Is this number 10? Is this a contingency at all?
It's
Is
on
this
the list, and I don't know what number it is.
this new one that you're just approving?
Did you get a copy of it if you want to read it?
It's new. There was no fire when you guys approved it. There were like 8 or 9
This has nothing to do with
contingencies.
the fire, except for afterwards and for cleanup and for evaluating what actually will happen in the future as a result of what happened a few days ago, a week ago.
This is not a requirement.
It has nothing to do with the permit.
This is
totally
us
against
asking,
it.
Well, then I guess my question is the same as his. If it's,
we're asking that it be done. We have
But
no
you're
authority to,
you're asking Blackwater, but not the county, is what I'm saying,
no.
then.
It says that our request be filed with Blackwater, DPLU, which is Department of Planning and Land Use, and with Supervisor Jacob's office.
Yes, but you're filing your request to Blackwater with those other 2 agencies. You're not requiring, or you're not asking Supervisor Jacob or DPLU to do this study, right? You're not going to have 3 studies. You're only asking for Blackwater to do the study.
Yeah.
Well, so it seems tipped to Blackwater's interest.
What? It's just, how could it be in their interest?
this is requesting them to do something they don't have to do.
That's right.
Why is that in their interest?
So we can have-
By the way, I'd like to say something.
Sure.
Back in Moya, they have an environmental person full-time on the property.
Right, okay, we had a hand in the back here, I think it was Keenan?
Why are we asking Blackwater to do this?
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
They're not a part of the community yet.
The reason for it is that they are currently doing an environmental impact study. So we're saying, okay, you've got a good baseline. Could you track the recovery? Now, the county isn't going to do it. The county doesn't have the baseline. The county only accepts reports. Okay, Eric?
It's clear to me the county should reimburse Blackwater for the study.
No. It's just a good idea.
Brian,
Jan, you have a,
is this going to be an addendum to Form 534, or is this
No.
a standalone?
this is standalone. This is a request only.
For information.
Right. And, you know, it can be ignored, it can be, you know, done, but if we don't ask, we're not going to get it. And so we're asking.
Whose idea was it to put this on the agenda, and who came up with it, the whole idea of it? Was it Blackwater, or was it something you guys just
No,
came up
this-
with on your own and
This is
and
an
said let's
outgrowth,
involve them?
this is an outgrowth of some emails back and forth between myself and Miriam Rafferty, a reporter for the East County, California. And I'm not going to go into all the muddy water that transpired on that. However, one of the thoughts that came out of that exchange of emails was the fact of, well, you know, maybe this is an opportunity to learn something. And I said, you know, based on your input, I'll put it on the agenda, and we can discuss it at our next meeting. You know, I think it would be good for the community.
But you could do that same study on anybody's property. There are tons of properties burned. Why pick Blackwater? What makes them? I mean, it seems to me like you're allowing them to do something good for the community for the wrong reason.
Well, they are already doing environmental studies. So this is something that they already could dovetail into. Whereas other property owners would not have the resources or the opportunity to do this. And all it is as a request. It's not a requirement.
So it seems like a public relations kind of thing. You're letting them get their foot in the door as part of the community.
Okay.
When it's just came out of thin air, you know, it makes no sense.
It came out of thin air, okay? Yes, it was an idea that was sparked because of some conversations. And, you know, are they going to agree to do it? I have no idea. But it's information that I think we ought to, you know, that I would like to see happen. It's an opportunity that doesn't come along very often. So there's a window of
A
opportunity
minute
here.
ago, you were hating the environment when you were talking about this guy's development. You said, you know, who cares about it? Now all of a sudden you care about it.
I don't know where you came up with that. I've been an avid, you know, steward of the land, you know, for a long time. I'm dedicated to being a good steward of the land.
You didn't like the open space.
Well,
It's the way they did the open space.
yes,
That's the difference.
that's correct. Okay, there's some patient hands in the back. Emil?
Can you explain to the young lady, that reporter that you were talking to is an anti-Blackwater reporter, and it was her idea to do something like this? It's not that you just gave birth to this idea. This came from an anti-Blackwater person, okay?
And how do you know that?
Because she is.
I mean, how do you know that it was her idea?
I said it,
I just said
you
so.
said it, I got it too.
But you guys got all these emails, and how did
Go online, you can get them all, trust me.
Okay, Ron?
Actually, every person who got burned out, any citizen here, it's a good idea just to keep records of all the recovery process. This is something that each one of us are actually capable of doing. And the government will almost even compensate you or give you a grant to do it because you're keeping record of the environment, you're keeping record of the recovery process, and everybody's input is actually really important, especially after a canopy fire such as this. This is a devastating event that happened to this environment, and the coastal sage scrub and the chamise and all that stuff that is here. This is the one spot that is very unique in all of California. So like I said, the government, it's a good thing to any records that anybody's going to keep environmentally or otherwise, not just Blackwater, but anything, any area. But I'm just saying, it's a good thing. It's a real good thing. I mean, that anybody being able to keep records of that. You know, I know you're saying it because it's like you, but you know, yeah.
Doesn't come around, thank God.
Actually, it's just a good idea for anybody to keep records of the recovery process. Period. It's not a
I
bad
just
thing.
wanted to bring up that the fire department is also doing a report, but theirs is biased on the fire damage and things, so it'll be a different aspect and not actually on the habitat, but on what the crucial things are, just like she was talking about there. But the fire department will be doing one, CAL FIRE is doing one, almost every agency that was involved with this is doing some sort of report. And if we could get one from that aspect also, it's just an added one. It's not one aspect.
It's just
Everything else, everybody else is doing it too.
Typical, you
Yeah.
know.
I think Dawn has a really, really good idea that everybody should do that.
Or just kind of notice things around
Yes,
us.
and I think that's good. I will also say that I believe, and I know to be true, that Blackwater is uniquely equipped because of their experience and their expertise to be able to do this kind of study. I can look out my window and see a rabbit going by, and I'm going like, whoa, there goes a rabbit. I can see a bird flying and going, there's a bird, you know? But it is not the same environmental study background that comes from a professionally trained environmental person who knows what they're looking for, talking about, and who has the time and the record-keeping ability to chart it. It's a big job.
And expensive.
I call for the question.
Okay, will the secretary call the roll?
Jerry Johnson. Belle Fowler.
Aye.
Mary Johnson. Aye. Jan Hedlund.
Aye.
Gordon Hammers.
Aye.
Janet Wright.
Aye.
Okay.
Motion
Was
carries.
that unanimous?
Yes.
And I make a motion to adjourn.
We have a second.
Second.
No, we want to stay here.
All in favor?
Aye.